Hi, I'm Lynn Bridgeford from the HIIT Bias Clinic, HIIT Bias Yoga, and today in our quick and easy exercise series we're going to be looking at a workout for the arms. So we're going to be warming up with a HIIT, so that's high intensity intervals about 20 seconds followed by lower intensity intervals about 10 seconds. Then we're going to do the strength work using a slightly heavier weight, and then we're going to do some stretching, some detailed stretching. So get yourself some weights, could be a can of beans, a bottle of water, let some water out or have a little bit more water for the heavier one for the strength, and join me in a minute. We're going to start with some general movements, going up and down, making a few circles so you can bend your knees a little to get stability. So we're making circles in a low degree, so not coming up too high with the arms, keeping the arms down, keeping the core, keeping the feet braced, and we're making circles going outwards. You may hear a few clicks in your shoulders. Keep the pace, get the high intensity. Keep your core working, stabilized by bending the knees. You could straighten them if you find that more stable. Keep the intensity going. And then we're going to go for the lower intensity. It should, by the time you come to the low intensity, it should almost feel like the arms are moving themselves. We're doing complex movements using lots and lots of muscles. And we're going to come the other direction. So coming at high intensity, it'll feel quite different, keeping the arms low. And take care to keep the weights away from you. So you may feel clicking anywhere in the arms or the shoulders. Working with a complex movement, getting a speed, get the heart rate up, and then slowing down, get the lower intensity, keep that form going. So taking a heavier weight, you can either brace by locking the knees, not back, just keeping the legs strong, or you can bend, and we're going to make slower circles. We're using many different muscles by making this movement, so nice and slow, and let the weight be heavier. So we're working with the strength of where we're gripping as well as through the forearms, because everything's moved by what's above it, and we're moving the upper arms as well, and we will be using something in the shoulders. And let's take the other direction. Keep the knees bent for stability, work the core, feel that movement all the way through the arms. To stretch on a straight arm, we're going to bring the arm in front and bring it across. We're bringing it at quite a low angle, so we're stretching all the way through the outside of the arm. You might like to turn a little towards it, that gives an extra stretch. Breathe into it. Feel the stretch across the upper arm, all the way down in the forearm as well. And the other side, bringing it across. Keep the body facing forwards, get the stretch through the arm, and turn to look towards the arm for an extra bit of stretch. Breathe into it. Keep the rest of the body nice and still and strong. And release. So turning the palm forwards and bringing the arm across, we've got a different angle of the stretch. You'll feel it in different places through the arm. Keep the body facing forwards. Breathe into it, straight arm in front, and we're working with the opposite arm to gently stretch all the way down the outer side of the arm. Breathe into it and release. Taking the other side, palm forwards, bring it across. If you're a lady, you may have to maneuver around your lady parts just to get comfortable there, so you may need to wiggle under or above. Keep facing forwards with your body and get the stretch down the outer arm. And release. We're going to do another complex movement, a little bit like walking. So we're bringing one arm up and the other arm back. You can bend the knees if that helps you keep your stability. Make sure you keep your hands and your weights away from the body. You can straighten the legs if you like. I find I get better stability with bent legs, knees over the toes. We're going at a pace, getting work through many parts of the arms, keeping the intensity, keeping the good form, getting your heart rate up, and then easing off. You may want to straighten your legs on the lower intensity. Check the form. I feel like my arms are almost moving themselves on this part. And then getting ready to go into the higher intensity again. Bend the knees, use the core. We're working through many parts of the arms, getting that intensity going. Keep your knees over your toes. Keep a smile on your face, always helps to get through exercise or anything in life. It's better with a smile. And getting the lower intensity. Check your form. Allow your heart rate to come down a little. We're teasing the heart rate to burn fat. This is a HIIT. For the strength part of the exercise, I recommend bending the knees, and we're taking it at a good pace to feel the weight. We want to do a strength exercise. So part of a strength exercise is not just a heavier weight, it's the focus. And we focus on the muscles, even if you don't know what they're called. Focus on the muscles that are working. There'll be different muscles in each arm because we're doing a different movement. I'm aiming at complex, natural movements to start with. And if you're getting a good work in there, you may start to feel some places having a little burn. And release. Interlinking the hands behind, reaching back and down and away. Keep the chest lifting, shoulders down, neck in neutral, legs stable and strong, core working. And take the arms as far as you can. You may only go this far. What you want to do is feel the stretch all the way through the front of the arms on the thumb side. Breathe into it and release. Bringing the arms in front, interlinking the hands, reaching forwards, and we're going to curl around a little, so we're reaching all around the outer arm and across the back. Breathe into it. If it helps to bend the knees, you can. Keep your back in a good alignment. Stretching through the outer arms and release. So taking arms across one side to the other, again to bend the knees. So we straighten the arms out and bend the opposite one. Going a little higher, again a complex movement. Keep the core working, knees over the toes, and get a good pace. So the weights are facing parallel to the body. And get that intensity going. Make sure that you keep the strength in the core and get a good alignment, else you need to slow down a little. We want to get a workout, and we also want to train and get some strength and some health. And taking the lower intensity, you can straighten the legs if it's comfortable there. Take a recovery for about 10 seconds. And we're going high intensity again. It's a little like being at a barn dance or something, this arm movement. Keep the core working, keep the legs strong. We're working out the arms, and we need the rest of the body to support the movement and keep us safe and strong. This is a good one for getting the heart rate going. And the lower intensity. And keeping a steady, even pace. Getting the strength in, taking it a little slower to feel the strength work. Feel the heavier weights. Keep them attainable for yourself. Keep your core. And you can always make them feel heavier by the amount of focus you put into the movement and into the muscles. I'm going to take my hand under the elbow and take a little twist. So we're twisting the forearms, which have been working quite hard there. Gentle twist with a straight arm. And then we can rotate the hand, holding onto the upper arm. We're aiming to stretch and ease the muscles, avoiding any strain or discomfort. We can bring the hand a little further down, gripping the arm, working down, and release. And on the other side, take the hand just below the elbow, hold onto the forearm, keep the rest of the body nice and stable. We can rotate a little outwards, so I'm taking my hand like that, so we're rotating the lower arm, and then rotate through the lower arm to the wrist. You might find you get a few clicks, that's fine. Move down a little with your hand, rotating to get a stretch. It's more than just a stretch, it's a release. We're working the muscle to release. And release. We're going to do some more specific movements, although keeping them with a complex movement as well. We're going to bend the arms and lift up. So on the way up, we're lifting up with the deltoid. We're using the infraspinatus coming up, and coming down we're using the subscap. So bend the knees, we're going to do that at speed, and it may not go terribly fast. Find the fast that works for you and make sure that you keep your arms, your shoulders, everything's safe. And if that means slowing down, taking it easy, that's absolutely fine. Just go to pace that works for you. We'll do it differently in a minute. And then slowing down, get the lower intensity. And to mix it up, we're going to go one at a time. So it's a bit like paddling. Keep the pace that works for you. Keep your core, keep the knees over the toes, and if needs be, take a lighter weight, or you can do it without a weight. And the lower intensity, I like to straighten my legs on the lower one and bend them for stability on the higher intensity. Taking an easy pace for the strength. Really work through the muscles, feeling what is okay for you. Taking a very easy pace. You may notice one side's easier than the other. We're mostly dominant more on one side than the other, and that may tend to be the stronger side. To stretch out, we're going to interlink the hands, bring them behind the head, bring the shoulder blades down and take the elbows back. So if that's less easy for you, you can maybe hold on to a belt. You want to get that stretch all down the side of the shoulder blade, into the arms. Breathing into it, you can bend the knees if you need to. Keep the neck in neutral. You may like to relax them off a little and take them back so they're just a little bit like wings flapping. And bring them down. We're going to bring the arms, palms facing forwards, we're going to bring them up and over. So keeping the knees bent. And we're going for the high intensity. And find what pace that is for you. You may get a bit of creaking going on in the arms. It's okay if it creaks. It's not okay if it hurts. So make sure that you keep okay. This is quite an intense one. So the pace may not be as intense as it was on some of the others. That's absolutely fine. And taking the lower intensity, feeling the movement, letting the heart rate recover. And then we're going to mix it up by taking one at a time, keeping the pace. It's where it works for you. More challenging one. Keep your core and take the lower intensity. Catch the heart rate, catch your breath. So taking an easy pace up and down, bend the knees if that helps. I find it helps to straighten them as I come up, bend as I go down. Find what works for you. Feel the strength coming up, feel the strength coming down. And release. Reach one arm up and over. You can take hold of the wrist. You can either have it on your head, if that works for you, in front or behind. And if you have it behind, you can use the head as a lever and get that nice stretch all the way through the arm, and a little pull with this hand. Make sure it's comfortable. You might be up here, you might be there. Just find what works for you. Breathe into it, nice stretch. Bend the knees if that works for you. You can have a little sway to the side as well. Gentle sway, stretching through. And release down. And on the other side, reaching up, bring the arm over. Remember, it can be in front, side or back. Take hold of the wrist and bring it over, keeping the shoulder down, stretching from the shoulder blade into the arm. You can use your head to gently push back, and you can pull a little with this other hand. Keep a good alignment, keep the core working, bend the knees if that works for you, and we can have a little sway to the side as long as that's comfortable. And release. We're going to bring the arms overhead, reach them up, bring the shoulders down, and then take them a little bit back if it's comfortable. Reaching, shoulders down, stretching. Now you may not go very far back. Keep the legs strong, core strong, and breathe into the arms. And bring them down the side, reaching across again in the front. A little higher up this time than we did earlier. Breathe into it. The other side coming across, stretching down the arm. Breathe into it, keep good alignment elsewhere in the body. Interlinking the arms behind, reaching back and down. Reach them right down and then lift up. You can bend the knees if that helps. Breathe into it. You can sit with legs bent or straight. Take the arms behind you, press them down and lift the chest, getting a good stretch all the way through the arms. Breathe into it. We can lay down on the arm, keeping the chest forwards, reaching the arm, getting a stretch from the underneath by activating the arm, pressing the hand down, getting a stretch and a length. You can bring your body forwards a bit or back a bit to get a different angle on the arm. If you have restrictions in your shoulder, you may need to modify this and not go so far down, maybe lay on a pillow. And reaching out the other side, lengthening through the arm, keeping the chest forwards, pressing the hand down, and we can bring the chest forwards or back a little, just the whole upper body, rotating through the arm. The best to stretch is to relax into it. Keep the hand pressing down to keep a good alignment. And breathe. Coming on all fours, hands a little wider than the shoulders, butt above the knees, hands under the shoulders. A good stretch into pose of a child, stretching through the armpits. Reach the hands forwards, let the head relax down. We're also stretching nicely through the spine. This stretches many parts of the arms. Breathe into it, a good relaxed stretch pose. Always good to shake it all out with a wiggle. Just allow any tension to release that you may have built up. Roll the shoulders back and down and let the arms hang. That's a few complex movements to work with the arms for a HIIT, a strength and a stretch. May your arms embrace the joys of life. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, like, write in the comments below, and go across to my other channels. I have Instagram, Lynn Bridgeford. I have Facebook channels for the clinic, for the yoga, and interact with me on all the channels, and I would be happy to connect with you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much.